Hey y'all, how are y'all? I'm back by popular demand. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do the video explaining the ritual and all the code surrounding the okra and kale rice situation. Sounds like some gumbo, I know. But hold on one second. It's loud, baby. Sasha's in there watching TV. So I'm going to break it down to you as best as I can. Now, I don't have time to stop and catch everybody up on ancient, Egyptian information. I don't have time to catch you up. You're just going to have to study that on your own. I'm just going to break it down. And for those who know, you know, okay? I can't keep going backwards. It's been time to move forward. And, okay, so let's get into it. Okra and kale. Okra and kale. Okay, when I say okra and kale, y'all know who I'm talking about, right? So when someone dies, when a god dies, when a deity dies in ancient Kemet, Anubis, Isis, and Nephthys, I can't pronounce the name, are supposed to preserve and embalm the body, wrap the body, preserve the body, which means preserve the legacy, preserve the memory, preserve the soul, etc., etc. So when you have similar dealings with two twin type goddesses, that is taking the legacy apart, what they're doing is undoing the preservation. And so if you do not preserve Osiris, then there is no future, basically, okay? Because that is the story of ancient Kemet and how everything came to be on Earth as we know it right now, and on this planet, whether you believe it or not. It's still reflected in the Jesus story. If you're Christian, it's reflected in many other stories. You have Mary and Mary Magdalene at Jesus's death, following him to the cross, holding his garments, wrapping him in garments after A, B, C, and D. So it's the same exact story if you're Christian. Right? You said VeggieTales. Okay. True. Bye, kitty. She's been very meowy today. So whether you believe it or not, if you're a Christian, there's the Jesus version of it. Okay. So just imagine if you are a Christian, just imagine if the Jesus aspect of this story was, okay, Jesus was being, taken to the cross, and his own mother and disciple Mary decided to turn against him as well. You see, this would be what Oprah and Gail are doing. But the point is, so are many other women, and they're taking part in that ritual. And the reason why a lot of women are partaking in that ritual is because they're angry and upset that Osiris cannot come to their rescue because he's cut up right now, he's dismembered, and he's not able to assist them in their needs because he is not himself. He is missing a few pieces. Okay. His jealous brother Set killed him, chopped him up, dismembered him, sprinkled him everywhere, and he don't know what's up and what's down. And the only person that cared enough or wanted him to be remembered was his wife, Isis. Okay. So, right. So, I put a meme up earlier on my community section, and I was saying, if Isis didn't help Osiris, where would we be today? So, I don't want to be negative, but we have a lot of people that have been watching a lot of angry women on YouTube and have it in their mind that they're supposed to also take part in that ritual to reverse and dismember and unravel the legacies and the things like that of their own on people. So we're not going to point them out, but they're taking a part in a mass ritual and they don't even know it. They're being programmed by people who are based in their emotion and not in their higher mind. So they don't know which way is up and which way is down. They are totally backwards. And I have my own type of channel like that, but I would never purposely drag down someone or not assist someone on that is of my own kind because I have an emotional imbalance. Okay. I'll fix my balance first. I fix myself first. Then I'll worry about the other stuff later. Sorry. So yeah, let's talk about the twin thing. So since Kale and Okra tried to do the reverse on us, Snoop, came at her. 50 Cent came at her. Snoop represents Anubis. He is there to preserve the dead. Okay. And he does have, quote unquote, an army. His army is gang, as well as people that uphold, the person that passed away. So he was supposed to speak. He was supposed to speak. And the reason he called her a dog-headed bee, excuse my language, is because the dog head represents Anubis, who represents death. Okay. Yale represents death because she works for her quote unquote masters who represent death, who are the dead. Okay. That cannot rise. So that's why he called her that. That's the code for that. Okay. When Okra decided to try to tear down Michael Jackson's legacy, a lot of people came at her. Okay. Now, Okra and Kale owe a lot of favors, and it's time to pay up because, time is ticking, and, the time is almost up for a certain class that is considered the elite of the entertainment industry. And their time is running out. And so they're using Okra and Kale to unravel the legacies of of our greats. Because if that is undone, then the shift cannot occur. The people cannot wake up, and then we're asleep once more. Okay. So when a lot of you do things that you don't understand, or say things that you don't understand, or follow someone who's not emotionally balanced or spiritually knowledgeable in any type of way, it's detrimental to all of us. Okay. So I might not like what someone does or doesn't do, but that doesn't mean I'm going to risk my entire future or my children's future or their grandkids' future based on a temporary emotion that I feel right now because I am seeking validation from someone who is dismembered or who is not at their highest potential at this moment because the shift has not occurred yet in order to bring in that new information. Not to all of us. Some of us, yes, some of us still coming. But I'm not going to turn away and go backwards in everything because that's exactly what you do. You go backwards in everything. If there are no greats, if there was no Osiris, if there was no Thoth, if there was no Isis, who would we be looking at? Who would we go back to find information? Who would we have to look for? I think many of us probably already did that and went to the Bible and to the church, and then they're not going to give us the truth. And if they do, it's hidden, and you won't be able to understand it until you see it in your own culture first. you know, and you'll see how it was flipped, just like this was flipped. So, they're doing that once again, like they shot the nose off the pharaoh, they hid all the teachings of this, and now they're trying to do it with, you know, the greats of this era. And there are too many people assisting them as well who do not benefit, but, you know, go backwards in the whole process. So I'm just letting you guys know, I'm not mad, because you can't really be mad if people don't know. The only thing I can do is tell you, you know, you can go do the research on your own. But I wanted to show you, you know, right after, quote unquote, Miss Rice threatened Snoop to apologize, he went into straight up code. He's like, okay, he didn't really apologize, but he made a little statement. But his pictures on Instagram right after that were very coded and trying to reverse the damage that had been done by Okra and Kale. So he posted, so he's trying to reverse back the twin goddess back up into the to the cosmos in order to complete this shift. So, and then he also posted this photo with his father, who looks like his twin almost. Posted that too. Higher self, you know, father, son, Osiris, you know, Heru. And then he also posted this. It says Boss Lady Entertainment. So this is a young lady's, I guess, business, and he wore the shirt, but he did shout her out so she gets a business. But it looks right on the screen, but when you're looking at it from this way, it's backwards. So he's reversing it once again. Okay. So he's reversing that on there. All right. So now, okay. Now Chris Brown, what does he do? Let's see. I'm sorry for the troll in there. You know what? I know what I can do with the troll temporarily. What? Okay, gotcha. And I'm going to hide this user so I don't have to see them anymore. Hide the trolls from yourself. Thank you. Okay, so so Drake posts this. And if y'all saw my photos on the other section. So that's twin energy, gang, twin energy. Okay. And then Chris Brown posts him and himself when he was younger. So there's the father and the son energy again. So they're trying to reverse that, you know, curse that Kale and Okra was trying to throw. Okay, Kale and Okra, y'all can, yeah. Y'all time is up, baby. And then I think that's the last twin. Okay, so let me show you the real twin ritual. They are raising the frequency and the energy onto Orion's belt to align, to bring in the Heru energy, which is the Christos, which will bring down and give you your activation. So anyone who's working against any of this, anyone who's mad, is working against your own rise. Everybody, not just men, but all. And we got to get it first. That's the trick. The woman has to get it first. Then the man gets it. Okay. The reason why that they're targeting women is so the women stay asleep, triggered, and emotional, unbalanced, and going in the opposite direction. Okay. And I know many of you have bought into that mentality, but you need to hurry up and buy out of it, because it affects you first and foremost. Not him, but you. Right? So, I mean, he gets the added bonus, you know, but you don't if you're not even involved. Okay, so y'all want to see something funny I made? It says Kale and Okra at odds with the Dubis. So this is the whole thing that's occurring. Now, okay, here is a photo of the same thing, the backbone of Osiris and the two goddesses lifting up the energy in order to receive, in order to preserve. This is what's going on, and they're trying to tear it down. You see? So sometimes it's not what you think. You have to get out those emotions. You have to throw them in the garbage temporarily. Then you have to remember who you are and why you're targeted. Okay, so then we have Jay-Z and Beyonce at the Super Bowl. Now, this is very interesting. So the twin goddess also played out during the Super Bowl halftime show. Okay, when J-Lo and Shakira did the twin goddess, and also that was the ritual to also bring down, that energy. And then you have Okra and Kale trying to reverse it. They are non-factors anymore. They have very little power. And a few minutes. It's close to midnight. Okay, as Michael Jackson would put it, it's close to midnight, and they're trying to get as much torn down and reversed as possible so that the shift may not occur, or we may not get our downloads or Christos or position that is well overdue. Now, okay, so Jay-Z and Beyonce, their outfits spoke major words. Okay, so Beyonce wore the Osiris green outfit, and Jay-Z wore the jacket that has the Isis flowers on it, to show that she clothed him, she put him together and gave him new body and clothes. Okay. So that's what this means. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Thank you, Carrie. Now, yes. And of course, y'all know they didn't stand for the national anthem because of the anthem having the lyrics in it about slavery and AKA, hirelings and slavery and freedom for all. And it's just not true. So, they didn't stand up. But that's last week's news. Okay, so and then Snoop put this on his Instagram, which is a donut in a box with the black and white floor. So this represents the Matrix, the 4D, 5D Earth. And Jay Dilla was a rapper who died, but he also made an album called Donuts. And it's very, very coded about the shift. Okay. There. Yes. And we're supposed to hold up these people. We're supposed to hold up Michael. We're supposed to hold up all the Osiris type figures or Heru figures at this time in order for us to get our throne, because the throne goes to Isis, and Osiris rules the underworld, which represents, a different aspect of this dimension. So, yeah, if you ever listen to the song "Will You Be There" by Michael Jackson, he has a little speech at the end. It says, "In my darkest hour, in my deepest despair, will you be there? Will you still care? In my trials and in my tribulations, through our doubts and frustrations, in my violence, in my turbulence, through my fear and my confessions, in my anguish and my pain, through my joy and my sorrow, and a promise of another tomorrow. I will never let you part, for you are always in my heart." Okay, so I circled that phrase, through our. Okay, love me like a mother, not an ex-lover, not a disgruntled baby mama, not a woman that can't get your attention, not a girlfriend, but a mother. Okay. An Isis figure, the mother goddess. Okay. Now, gotta understand that. I'm just being honest. I can't beat around the bush because we ain't got no time for that. So I guess pass the word on if you know some disgruntled people that are trying to reverse everything back. Because if this thing gets reversed, it's not going to be good for anybody. It's going to be real bad. Okay, it ain't gonna be good for anybody. So make sure, if it's best just not to say a thing. If you're gonna do more damage, it's best not to say a thing, or at least say something positive. Find something positive in the negative. You could still like Okra and Kale if you like, but also like the other people that they're trying to turn, trying to tear down on purpose because their rent is due, their time is up, and their masters are calling in their favors at the last minute. Okay, so you can like them if you like. It doesn't have anything to do with me or you. If you like what they do, that's fine. But remember who they work for. It's not for you or your betterment. As long as certain people are in charge of certain things, they have their spot. As soon as that is over, they lose their spot. Okay, Okra and Kale lose their spot when these people are over, and they're losing power each day, and that's why they're rushing in to do all of this. So that's why Okra and Kale want to keep them on board, because they're not going to be on top after this. And cable, they don't know Okra and Kale. They don't watch the early morning news and stuff like that. They get their news on their phone. So they have to go find who that is. They got to go research who this Okra and Kale is, So, and then Rice comes in, the former secretary, security secretary, or whatever, I don't know, that worked for Obama, comes in and threatens Snoop Dogg with some type of army. Now that was the reverse of what he was supposed to do. You see? And she was trying to reverse his damage. That's why they had to bring her in. Okay. And so she couldn't even rescue the hostages or the people over there when she was in office. So with a real army. So how's she supposed to do anything? She don't have no power. And anyway, the army that Snoop was talking about is Gang and the people. Okay, so that army was already activated, sent out, and already been threatening Mrs. Kale. And the funny thing that they said, it was the Bloods and the Crips were after her, which is the blue and the red, the right and the left, after Kale. That means, they're both upset because you're stopping their evolution. All right. So, right now let's talk about the Okra situation. Okra tries to tear down MJ in that Neverland thing, and none of it was proven. They still couldn't have no evidence or proof. But she still was told, you better do this. You better do this. I don't know if she didn't want to do it, because who wants to destroy Michael Jackson besides people that don't benefit from it? Who wants to take the greatest of all time and tear them down? Okay, so Oprah had to do that. Oprah, why did you do that? Tyler Perry is staying out of the whole thing because he know he could be next at any time. So he's like, I'm going to hurry up and build my studio so I can get up out of here. Anyway, so Michael Jackson fans weren't having it. Black, white, Asian, red, brown, green, they would not having it. Oprah is now globally hated. Okay, globally. A few aliens too, yes. So when they tried to tear down MJ's legacy, it totally reversed on her. Totally, because then everybody started streaming his music. His album one of his songs on his album actually hit the charts after years. His video ratings went up, his sales went up, His net worth went up to 2 billion. So it just reversed, because anything that comes against someone like that will always reverse itself, because they are too great to tear down with, you know, with pretty much anything. Can't tear them down. So, but the attempt was disrespectful to his family, to his fans, and all of that. Okay. And then, Oprah had the nerve to be invited to his house and interview him and all that kind of stuff. Talk to his mom after, and talk to his children. And then she had to go back and dismantle, or try to dismantle, his legacy. She already know they're gonna have to go into their little underground bunker when this is all over. Bye. Or lay low, or drop off the radar for a while. But I used to really like Oprah. I really looked up to her until she started having to pay her debt. Okay, when she started having to pay that debt, every time she had to pay a debt, I lost some respect for her. And I was like, okay, well, I'll let that one slide, because she might not have known you better. Okay, nope. Wait, I see a pattern. This ain't working. Nope. Michael Jack. Oh no, canceled. I'm not gonna be rude, but canceled in my mind. I'm not giving you no more energy. I'll just raise up MJ and just not worry about you. And so the point is, they're trying to take away your rise. They're trying to take away what's coming to you that's going to catapult you to the next level. And you have to understand this. You're being robbed by Okra and Kale per their master's request. You're being robbed. Okay. Thank you. They're taking away your ascension. They're taking away. Do y'all remember in the song Mood Forever with Beyonce and Jay-Z? She says, I'm so unbothered. Y'all stay impressed while I'm raising daughters, sons of empire. That is the twins, or the two daughters, or the two goddesses, to bring the sun down, to create the new empire. Okay. And Okra and Kale are working against that, as usual. And so now, if you go on Instagram, you'll see everybody putting up the twin. Y'all, if y'all are on my Instagram, y'all see my twin my twin thing. I have to hashtag twinning. And y'all know all the people that know what's going on: Drake, Chris Brown, Snoop, so forth, so on, are putting up twin photos as well, because it's a reverse of the curse that Okra and Kale has tried to perform. Now you got to bring it back double. Okay. Right. And then, Okra went on and started crying. That, I'm like, no, it's too late. I don't care if you crying. I'm laughing while you crying. And so is everybody else. Now, a lot of people thought it was disrespectful to call a 60-year-old woman out of her name. So I will address that. Yes, in normal circumstances, I do not approve of someone calling a 60-year-old woman out of her name. But this ain't the normal context. This is this is to work against you. Okay. So he was in his divine right to call her whatever he wanted to. Okay. Because this is his domain as far as the situation. Okay. Is concerned. This is not on the mundane level anymore. This is in the spiritual level, in the frequency level. So he was in his domain. He was in his divine right as representing Anubis and preserving the legacy of the dead. Okay, this would have been like some. This would have been like someone breaking into the tomb. Some woman breaking into the tomb of Jesus and stripping him of his garments. You know, so this would have been like, his own, like Mary and Mary Magdalene going against him and leaving him for the dogs to eat. Okay. Just to put it into perspective for you that don't understand um, the Egyptian analysis. I'll put it in the Christian analysis. So after all this blows over, things will be back on course. Okra and Kale will, of course, hopefully be canceled. And whatever else that they are put out to do, just ignore them and laugh at them and shut them down, because that's what you're supposed to do in order for you to rise and get, for this shift to complete. You have to shut that down always, all the time. Every time you see it, you got to shut it down. You got to go in there and say, Okra, we know what you're up to. We know who you work for. Stop. I know they call it in your favors, but this is enough. Okay. We're not going to allow that to happen. And so just battle it like Snoop and Twitter and all the people are handling it by providing information and also using photos and code to also reverse it. Symbols are important. Canceled means we no longer deal with them. Canceled means they are crossed off our Christmas card list forever. Hey, Michaela. So canceled means put in the blocked section. You're blocked. You're canceled. You're dead to us. Okay. So that's what canceled means. It means you're dead to me. Because they're trying to do something that is going to be for the detriment of their own people. Okay. So, it's okay to like the work, their accomplishments, but anything from here on out, you cannot support. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not working for themselves anymore. Their favors are being called in and they must do them because it's payback. It's time to pay the piper, so to say. And so no matter how rich she is, she still has that contract that she probably signed long ago when she was auditioning for The Color Purple. Okay. They probably got something on her or something, Okra and Kale. Anyway. Exactly. Okay, so I'm not really going to harp on them. I just wanted you guys to know what was going on. You said Rizza Islam and other protesters showed up at Okra's 2020 Vision event in NYC. Good, because they know, he knows what's really going on. At least he knows partially what's going on. Hopefully he knows to this depth, but they know they're supposed to do that. They know they're supposed to do that because that's the only way to reverse it. That's the only way to reverse it and bring back the frequency which is needed in order to be able to ascend spiritually and get your, divine gifts. Okay, so you don't have to hate her, but you cannot support her in the unraveling and tearing down of the Christos energy that's trying to be brought in. Okay, because that's how it gets up there. Think about the story of Jesus. And even though if you don't believe in it, that's fine. It's just the myth and the story and how it works frequency wise. So Jesus had to die and be lifted up in ascension in order for you to get your blessings, or in order for you to be able to have your chance to be saved by Christos consciousness. If his legacy doesn't rise, if it's torn down, you will never get it. And you will stay stupid and dumb and working for people for the rest of your life, walking in a circle, being mad and upset, and never getting what you deserve. Okay? Because you can't take your emotions out of it for 2 seconds. Separating the wheat from the tare, separating the wheat from the tare means you're lower from your higher self. You're getting your mind on a higher frequency, on a higher level, getting out of those emotions and seeing the bigger picture. It's like, let's say you're in a burning building and you don't know it's burning. Okay. And so someone is telling you, let's go. And you're mad at them. And you're saying, I'm not going anywhere with you. No, you don't ever do anything for me. But the building is burning and you have no clue. Okay. So your stubbornness and emotional self is going to choose to stay in that building and burn because you don't know any better and you don't listen, and you're led by emotions, which will kill you, or which is not helpful because you can't see past a certain point. Yeah, those are blinders. Okay, so yeah, Snoop is correct. He was 100% right in what he did. It may have seemed harsh, but he represents Anubis, and his job is to preserve the dead and their legacies, their bodies, which is their clothing, their garments, their linen, which is preserving who they are, their divinity, right? And when the fake twin goddesses try to reverse that, that means everything's out of order and reversing for everybody. Okay, so he had to clap back. Okay, he had to get at him, and he was 100% correct. And the reason he called her that name is because the dog head bee represents the dead head who works for the dead. She works for the dead. Okay, and the dead means that they're not living. They don't have eternal life. Okay, she works for them people. And so his fans and all the people represent his army and gang. And so they all got on Okra and Kale, and he, as well as you said, Riza Islam, marched on her little gathering in NY because that's what they're supposed to do, because she's trying to take you back down to your lower self and keep rulers over you. Okay? So, if you are blind enough to support that, then you are also aiding in that ritual. And I'll tell you, it will be reversed, because all they're going to do is, let me tell you what they're going to do now, since Okra and Kale had to be stupid. Let me tell you what's going to happen now. Since Okra and Kale had to be stupid, they're going to send another gamma ray blast or some kind of solar UVB radiation, wind this way, just to make up for lost time. They're going to double up on it. I promise you. And you watch that disease spread even more. Because it lowers your immune system to where a common cold will kill you if you are a low frequency being. Especially if it's, being spread around and altered through genetics. Now, I'm not saying that to scare anybody. I'm just saying that because, it's a spiritual war. We are in a war. It's a silent spiritual war. played right before your eyes, and you are involved in it and you don't even realize it. And you may be on the side that you don't think you're on. So some people are just not even aware, and so they're not even a part of it unless they buy into it emotionally. So now, after the Super Bowl, this is when this happened, because the Chiefs won. That meant, okay, they did the ISIS ritual on the stage with Shakira and J-Lo. The Chiefs won, so now things are turning in our favor. The frequency was rising, everything was going as planned, and then stupid Kale had to step in and try to reverse it per her master's orders. And y'all know she worked for CBS, and their sign is a little circle with an eyeball in it. So they're like the fake eye. They're like the fake eye. So they have to use, but they had to use Gale and Okra because they have the twin goddess aesthetic or look, and they have some influence over their own people. And so they use those two instead of another news anchor or anybody else, because it's more influential coming from your own, But we caught it, and we're reversing it. Okay, so it's over. It don't even count anymore. Thank you, Food Abroad. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Most of these rappers and black male celebs are the ones who are pawns for racists and yeah, they're just paid to do that. That doesn't really do anything. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Thank you, Food Abroad. That doesn't do anything. There's races everywhere. We've been had races. That has nothing to do with this shift. That has nothing to do with tearing down the Osiris aspect. Because that's how you get, as a woman, that's how you get your throne. Okay. I know a lot of you guys don't understand this. This is why I'm trying to explain it. When Isis helps Osiris, when she puts him back together, when she lifts him up and preserves his divinity, she gets her throne and he gets his. But y'all don't understand that, because it's like you're too emotional. You can't get to your goddess status if you are that emotional. And you will never get what they call the Christos energy within, which means, remember when she got pregnant with Heru, that was her gaining her Christos energy, knowledge, and frequency. And then what she bore, the child, was then the rest of the offspring of that energy. And so she got her throne, but you won't ever get your throne or your upgrades mentally or spiritually if you stay stuck in your emotion. Your heart chakra is stuck. It can't even vibrate on a frequency in order to even receive it. So that's why you have to stop yourself and look at what's really going on the grand scale. Okay, I done leveled up now, view panoramic. Okay, I leveled up, that means I ascended into my goddess status, and now my view is bigger. It's bigger, y'all. I know y'all in the car singing Bigger by Beyonce and doing the opposite. So just have to understand, okay? I'm just explaining it because most people walk around with blinders on. They don't understand what's going on. They just, are triggered and play their role unknowingly. But now that you understand, you don't have to do that anymore. And you know what it's doing. So you can stop participating in that. Okay? So now I'm going to answer some questions. Sorry, I just had to talk the first part of that so that you guys can get all the information that I had to get out, and now I'll answer some questions. Yes, sit like Jacob and the issue. Correct. Okra damaged her own legacy by selling. Yep, she sure did. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Right. You got it, Sunset. Thank you. See, I knew you would get it. Okay. Why did Okra mention Bill Cosby though? Because he's another person that they're trying to defame. Okay, he represents a father figure, which is Osiris, Tahiru. So they have to be great, they have to be iconic, and they have to represent a certain aspect of Osiris. Okay, and so each time they have, someone that they quote unquote tear down, they're doing that ritual. Okay, they don't mess with irrelevant people or one-hit wonders. Okay, they mess with those that have a huge legacy because they represent the Osiris energy. Okay, yep, they mess with MJ. They had to, they did that too. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. Um, so I'm still trying to answer questions. I need a good question now. Okay, you said what's with Susan Rice threatening Snoop? Y'all know Okra sent her in to do what Anubis already did, to do what Snoop already did. That was Snoop's job. She was mirroring him to reverse his effect. That's why what he had to do was make a fake apology, and he put on that reverse sweatshirt on Instagram that said Boss Lady Entertainment, and it was reversed. So he reversed all of their power. He reversed their spell, their power. Chris Brown, Drake, everybody done put up twins on their photo part of Instagram and reversed it all because that's what they were trying to do to this energy that's coming in. They were trying to reverse it so that we can't get it, because as long as we don't have it, then her bosses are on top, which will keep her on top and us down here. Okay. So that's why they were doing that. And so, yeah, he got on there and he read what y'all said. He read, but y'all don't support Black women. So what he did is he got some company called Boss Lady Entertainment and wore her sweatshirt and tagged her in the thing so she could get some business. And it looks reversed on the screen, but since I'm showing it to y'all, it probably looks right, but it's reversed on here. And y'all see his smirk? Look at his smirk. And look at his little hat. He got on his little, it looks almost like a little Egyptian Osiris or, little hat that Anubis be wearing. His little thing. And of course he has on the black. So he reversed all of their little charades basically with that sweatshirt on. Okay. So yeah. And so if y'all didn't see my community section, I posted a few other artists that posted the twin aspect to help bring back in the natural ascension frequency. So we have Drake, which is Champagne Poppy on Instagram. Chris Brown taking a picture with himself when he was young. Then Snoop posted those little babies. And then I posted this little Isis ritual that was being done, the twin ritual. But they were trying to reverse it. So Nipsey's mom started the reversal. She did What's her name on Instagram? What she do? Okay, so sometimes what you don't think is spiritual. Oh, why do you always talk about celebrities? I want to learn about my chakras. Well, the spiritual war is right before your eyes. You're participating in it, sometimes maybe for the wrong side. And I'm bringing you to the present moment in time because you are in it. You are in it right now. Okay. If you haven't learned that stuff already, then you need to be studying that before you get on here. Okay. It's a spiritual war, not a physical war. Okay. It's done with weather, energy, media, role play, news stories, celebrities. This is it, literally. And y'all are turning away from it, and you will not be able to witness it because you're looking for something else. But this is it. Okay. Um, why does it seem like everyone hates Black women? I feel like when you look for something, yes, you will find it. When you are looking for validation without having it within already, when you are not a whole person, then you seek approval. Okay. If you are a goddess, if you are a divine mother goddess like Aset, Isis, why do you need everyone's approval? You know what I'm saying? I don't need approval. I approve of myself. Check. If you don't like it, kick rocks. You see, that is the mentality of a goddess. That's the mentality that you got to have. And y'all know on my other channel, I get bombarded in the comments daily. I still play nice. I still laugh and joke with my trolls. I do it daily. Why? Because I am better than that. And I see the bigger picture. Thank you. Some numbers and then A001110800. Thank you for the work that you do. You mentioned the use of image to reverse and cancel and resourced for learning how to use and apply imagery in my own life to solidify my will. Use a mirror, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Thank you. Do your work with a mirror in front of it. Okay. Right. No one. You don't need the approval. That would be like you seeking your children's approval. Well, how come my kids don't like you? The mama. Okay. I am the Nala, Sister Naruba, Ocean Queen Sheba. I am the mother. Okay. Uncle my gold chain. Ice on my whole chain. She don't need your approval. Unnecessary. Okay. Does a mother not feed her child because she don't think the child likes her? That's the thinking of a goddess. Now, on another mundane low level, no, you do not be with people that don't know your value. No, 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 no. But you do not sink lower than you're supposed to sink spiritually or mentally. You are, if you're divine, if you feel like you're a goddess, you don't need anyone's approval. You're just like, okay, well, oh well, on to the next. You know. But if you wallow in it, and then if you forget who you are and you start seeking that approval because you forgot who you were, then you're no longer a goddess, but now you're just someone who has taken the lower level and starts, being upset because nobody likes you, but you birthed them. You know what I'm saying? But you created a lot of things and people and all this kind of stuff, but you seek their approval. The creators do not seek the approval of which in that they have created. Okay. So you have to get that mentality up here first. That's it. Then you will not allow anything, you'll be unbothered. You won't let anything get to you. You'll just laugh. Them silly kids. And your frequency will be high enough to attract the kind of man who will treat you like a goddess. Okay. So that's That's self-work. That is self-work. That has nothing to do with anybody on the outside of you. That is self-work. I don't care how brainwashed you've been by people that are backwards in their mind. It is all self-work. Okay? That's it. If you act like you're the best, people will acknowledge you as such. Okay? Um, just because somebody says something about me in the comments online or whatever, and say I'm this, I'm that, which happens every day, I still ain't gonna let them starve. I still ain't gonna reverse my gifts that I'm about to receive because I'm in my emotions. Oh no, I will never do that because I know the value. Okay. I'm not going to be dealing with no dusty man. I'm not going to, okay, mistreatment of women, but I'm not going to sacrifice myself at the same time. So that's not going to work for me because when I stoop down to that level, I lose my divinity or my frequency of understanding who I am. That's exactly why Isis has to put Osiris back together so she can remember him. And that's what that's what the story is about. Spiritually, there's different aspects to the story. There's the astrological aspect. There's the surface aspect. There's the spiritual aspect. So you got to understand that. Take your place as a divine goddess and throw the petty stuff in the trash so that you can really be where you're supposed to be. Okay. All right. Right. And stop looking for ways to bring you back down to that mentality that you are not able. Stop looking for things to bring you to the mentality where you start to seek validation again. You're not supposed to seek validation. Okay. You created everything, so why would you seek validation? Okay. It's like you invite some guests over, right, in your house, and you get so wrapped up in your emotions, you start asking the guests, do you like me? Do you like my house? um and they start treating you less than what you are because you're acting that way. You acting less than. You're acting like this ain't your house. You're acting like you need their approval when they're your guests. Okay. So that's how they begin to treat you. Just like if you are a mom that doesn't discipline their child, they're gonna start cussing you out, talking back to you, pushing you, acting stupid with you because you forgot your position. Okay. Right. Hi. Um, right. Right. So, it's all about the higher perspective in this time at the present moment. Mhm. Okay. Make it happen. Why do white women, biracial, get praise and protection, but black? Because I just explained it. This is your house. You know what I'm saying? This your house. All them women, all men came from the black woman. And we already know that. That's genetics. That's mitochondrial DNA Eve gene. So why are you still asking questions when this is your house? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to be upset because you're being disrespected in your own house? Or are you going to start acting like this your house? Because a lot of people don't understand this. And if you need protection, if you feel like you need protection, then you need to act like you need protection. Okay. And then you also act like you need to people to understand that this is your house. Obviously not aggressively. Right. If you're a very aggressive person, most likely people don't think you need protection. If you're over emotional, loud, very, if you curse a lot, if you have masculine behavior, they just, she got it. She don't need us. She got it. You know, so you have to understand it's about feminine energy, the feminine goddess energy. That's what you got to tap into. And if you can't tap into it and find that energy, then that's what you should work on. Okay. Right. That's true. Yeah, I agree. And so, hey, it's very simple, but I think everyone complicates it because they forgot who they were. That's it. You're playing the wrong roles. That's all. The roles that they're trying to keep from you, and the roles that you keep reversing because you don't know who you are. The roles that you keep assigning yourself because you are not aware. Okay, so that can be worked on personally. That is a personal thing that you must work on. And everybody can do that, no matter who they are. If you don't feel like you're where you're supposed to be, you can do that as well. Okay. Um, that's right. I've got it, but slip in hard times, for example, when I'm in pain, any tips? When you're in pain, I think I'm the wrong person to ask for that question. You got to ask somebody who be in pain. I'm never in pain. I think when you have a certain mentality, you stay on a balanced level. In a hard time, if you get this download, if you get this upgrade, if you get this knowledge, you will be able to think your way out of any type of hard time. You will be able to find a way to get what you need, because this right here will pick up on it. You'll be on a higher frequency where you can just pull money out the air, literally. You can pull money making ideas straight up out the air. Okay. So when you hit a hard time, all you got to do is like, oh, well, I'll just do that. So that's why it's so important to get out of that emotional, place where you're stuck in anger and rise up higher to a goddess status mentally, so that you're able to receive a lot of information, knowledge, and live in your feminine energy. Okay. God, Aaron Jones, y'all can't keep asking the questions. Why is someone mistreated in their own house? Because they don't know who they are. They forgot that they own the house, and they are not in their right state of mind because they don't know who they are. That's why. If you start acting like who you are, people will not treat you that way. I promise you. You're supposed to be divine goddess of the earth, queen of the earth, but if you don't act like one, how can they know that's what you are? Just saying. I'm just saying. I can't answer the question if you don't act like what you want to be. If you want to be treated like a queen and a goddess, then act like one on a daily basis, all day, every day, forever. And raise your children to respect you as one, and your children, if they have daughters, raise them as that. Okay. That's what you got to do. So, we know what that looks like. If you want to be treated a certain way, you have to act that way. That's it. That's all. And if someone doesn't treat you that way, then dismiss them. off with his head, just like on Remember the Time. Boop. Throw him to the lions. Um, Now I don't take it personally. I don't take anything anyone tells me personally because I know who I am. Thank you, Jesslyn. How do you begin your journey on self knowledge? Study, learn, read books all day, every night. It's a journey, and it's it's just a lifestyle. I think it's just a lifestyle. Like I think most people have hobbies or TV shows that they like to watch. I research during my in between moments of time. Like if I'm watching a show and a commercial's on, or even when I'm watching the show, I'm researching. I'm taking notes. I'm looking at stuff. I'm decoding stuff. I read symbolic books. I read a bunch of books all the time, and the knowledge just gathers up. And when I need to pull it out, my brain recognizes something. Oh, that's what this means, because I'm constantly feeding myself information and knowledge and doing this on a daily basis. So, but this could just be what I'm supposed to be doing. Not everybody's supposed to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So do it on your own level. Do it on your own level. Whether it just be being more aware and understanding, not to stay stuck in emotion, study universal law. Yeah. Okay. Should all knowledge be within? I respect reading books and learning. Well, see, when you get the let's just say confirmation is very nice. You know, a lot of these things I could say from my own mind, but when you have several things backing it up and you can show people because they don't understand it, then you can say, okay, so this is something that I thought already, and then I saw it here, and then I saw it here. So it's a lot of confirmation. So I can assume that this book is correct because it feels right within, and you know, it makes sense over here in this aspect. So a lot of people will use, knowledge, information, and also their own guidance to, what they call do the great work. Thank you, Supreme Third Eye. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. Now, if you don't want to get into this on a deeper level, then study universal law, remain feminine, and carry yourself as a goddess for now until you decide to go deeper, But that's the best thing that you can do at this moment. Um, all of us ascending looks like smarter, wiser, better decision makers, more balanced in emotion, able to put priorities in the correct order to build and pursue life goals financially, mentally, and physically and spiritually. It's almost like getting an upgrade on your entire, aspect of self. Just being able to have ideas that you may not have been able to have before, plans and goals that you would never dream of creating or making, things like that, opportunities, all of that. Right. Um, mhm. All right. So I'm just taking a few questions and I'm going to end it because I don't want this to be super long because the people that really need to get this, they need to watch it for real. I might go live on my other channel. Oh, I forgot. Oh my gosh. I tried to give this information to my other channel on a mundane level and ooh, they went off. They still stuck. Mm. Anyway, mhm. um, Rodeo by Nas X. That's gang gang coming through and bringing in and bringing in that energy to take away those whose times are up and bring in the new. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Food abroad, I don't really care because I know what I know. I'm sorry that you don't know what I know or what a lot of people in here know. Okay. But you can stay stuck. Oh, I don't really care. I mean, Taco Bell need workers, baby. Thank you, Rochelle Silas, Sprinkle Sprinkle. Still navigating through high emotions. Any tips? I think the more people learn and understand how better their life can be if they learn to control emotions. Like, think about men. Men aren't very emotional. They're kind of very calm and logical, and they can, they make decisions based on, if it's beneficial or not. They kind of think it through a little bit. They don't just overreact and ruin everything because of how they feel for a temporary moment in time. So you need to stop whatever you're thinking about or emotional about. Whatever you're emotionally about, don't react to it before you sit there and think about it for a couple of minutes and ask yourself, is this going to benefit my life or hurt it? And that's how you do that. Thank you, Rochelle Sprinkle Sprinkle Girl. So, that's how you got to do that. Thank you, Natural Market. If you are judging the people you are helping, what side are you on? I'm not judging anybody. You're being judged, actually. It's very, you're actually being judged when you are not understanding of what you're doing to your own kind. You know, you are being judged right then and there. Every time you do that, your frequency gets lower and lower. You become less attractive. You become less, um, appealing to that in which you are trying to attract. So it really works against you. And the honest truth is, if you are working against your own self, then why would anybody want to work for you? Because you're just going backwards. Why would anyone want to help anyone who keeps moving in the wrong direction? So that's why it's not wise to ever go against anyone that is part of you. Okay. It is never wise to go against anyone that is part of you. It's better just to leave them be and just not say anything, you know. So if you have that anger and that desire to seek, the same revenge or punishment on another part of yourself that someone else does, then you become just like that someone else. And that's why your frequency gets lower because you are vibrating on their level. Okay, there you go. Now, I have two different channels. I have two different channels. So if you're from my other channel, I often tell you do not be with people that do not appreciate you, but I'd never tell you to tear them down to the point where they don't even want to, deal with you anymore. I never say to tear them down. I just say get another one. Okay. Y'all don't listen though. All y'all want to do is go be mad and angry and stay in your emotions. And that's why a lot of people are stuck. So if you are still ruled by your emotion and your anger, that's why I say do not stay stuck there. Get another one so you can raise right back up. Okay. That's what you got to do. Get another one. Don't sit there and deal with that. Why are you dealing with that? You're supposed to be a goddess. You're supposed to be higher than that. Why are you sitting there dealing with peasants? Get up. You don't have to, destroy and seek revenge on a peasant when you're the goddess. It makes no sense. Get up and go find a god. Get up and go find someone divine on your same level if that's what you want to do. Right. Get out of your feelings to get your bag. Exactly. So I think that a lot of you guys are listening with emotional ears on my other channel and not logical ears. Right. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay, so appreciate that. Thank you, Keisha. Why was the sky bright last night in Washington? Well, it was a full moon. It was a full moon. Or at least I thought it was a full moon. It was over here. Snoop is the only one in his feelings. Snoop had every right to say what he said. He represents Anubis. If you don't know anything about that and the occult and the Masonic and all that kind of stuff, then you will be super lost because these people don't play. Okay, that's Snoop role. He checks anyone that goes against preserving the preservation of those who have legacies and those who are no longer here. And he does not allow that. That is Anubis in ancient Kemet. So he was supposed to do that. That's his job in the entertainment business as he represents this deity. Okay. So he was supposed to do that because she was out of order, out of line, turning stuff backwards and reversing everybody's uprise, which, you know, a lot of people were aware of. So they shut her down straight up. I mean, I don't really normally react to stuff like this, but I saw what she was doing. And it goes deeper than what you think. It's not about one person, it's about all of us. Okay. Her bosses are about to be out of power. And so they're calling in their favors that Okra and Kale owe them to tear down their own people's legacies, to try to reverse this energy that's coming in that's supposed to help bring in a new, prosperity, a new amount of knowledge, new technology, and all this stuff. And you sitting over here helping the other side. Okay. If you don't like them, don't watch them. Okay. Right. He should have the same energy for white supremacy. Can't get on the same frequency as Gale. Okay. That's why they had to get Gale to go do it, because they couldn't send in somebody like that because it wouldn't have affected one thing. Y'all have to think about it like frequency and energy. The lady that slipped up and said the N word. Okay, yeah, they trolled on her for a few seconds, but they don't care because they expect that from them. Their frequency is low. They expect that from them, but not Kale on a back-to-back basis. Not Kale, no. So that's why that would be like you have a friend, right? Your friend goes to your house, looks around, and you think she's your friend. Then she goes on Twitter or Instagram and say, "Ooh, she got a dirty house. I saw underwear everywhere, and I thought she was supposed to be A, B, C, and D, and she ain't this and she ain't that, da da da. But she's still my friend. I still like her. But that's the same thing. You want all that spread about you, and then when you die, all they gonna remember you for is, oh, she had dirty underwear all over her house. Okay, so you got to understand that it's not right, and I wouldn't want anybody being my kid's friend that had that same mentality. I wouldn't want anybody even in my vicinity that had that mentality, because I would have told her the same thing, probably worse than Snoop told her. Especially, I would have told, even though Oprah is Oprah, and when she said that stuff about MJ, I'm sorry, MJ trumps Oprah. I'm gonna get her. If I ever saw her, I was like, you was wrong for that MJ thing, right? I know they called in some favors. You had to pay your rent. You had to pay your dues. But you was wrong. I'll tell her straight up. I don't care. He said what he said. That's right. Like, our respect lost for them because of what they're reversing for everybody. It's like It's okay if you disagree. There. You haven't risen to that level of consciousness yet, but that's okay. You will get there one day. Hopefully, if you don't stay stuck in your emotion, you know. And you cannot receive any type of you can't catch the stuff on the higher frequencies that are coming in right now, and that's getting ready to really come in hard because you stuck here. Okay. So, that's why you cannot agree because you're stuck. And you don't have to even agree. You just don't have to tear down. That's it. You could agree to disagree, but just don't tear it down because you're working against yourself. Like, honestly, you're working against your own rise of your frequency. Okay. hmm Snoop Dogg's he's disrespectful for someone working for someone that is keeping everyone down on a frequency. So, of course, he had to say what he had to say because she was out of place. And if you decode what he said, all he called her was um, a dog-headed bee. I mean, isn't that what it means? He's Snoop Dogg. All he called her, and he said she was working against her own people, and he represents Anubis, and she's tearing down the dead, and he preserves the dead, their legacy, and she's tearing it down. He was in his rightful place to tear her right back on down the way she was tearing him down. Eye for an eye. Get on that scale. You know, he weighed her on a scale and did what he did. She put that out. He put that out. Okay. I don't care if she's a 60-year-old woman. I don't care. She was wrong and she will always be wrong. I have no respect for anybody that tears down anybody that is not, that they don't even have anything invested in to gain except for, the favors that they owe these people who surround them, who are habitual abusers, who haven't seen one day of justice, but yet they want to tear other people down who were found innocent. Okay, so I can't get on board with any type of woman that don't even like her own kind. I can't do it. Okay, it's kind of like Uncle Ruckus or the dude from Django. No, they belong over there. I would not trust them with my children. I wouldn't trust them in a room with my cat or my dog. I would not give them a smile or a wave. They are dismissed times 10 forever because it's not what they did, it's what they're doing to us. They're trying to give back the power to those who are supposed to be exiting um, their thrones, and we are supposed to be entering them. Okay, the okra and kale are working against you and everybody you know. They don't care about you. They never will. They're um, they're owned by their masters and have to do what they say now because they're calling in all their favors. That's just what it is. I don't care how old she is. Okay, she said what she said and got weighed on that scale by Anubis. Okay, that's what she did. Can't do it. I never seen MJ with black mom. Okay, so maybe he had a secret baby mama you don't know about. Just because you ain't seen it don't mean it didn't happen. He had an Ethiopian nanny. He had a few black girlfriends. He don't parade his stuff around out there because people always gonna talk. Michael Michael did what he wanted to do. Michael was Michael. He didn't need your approval. All he needed was a stage and a mic, like one mic, like Nas. Okay. People were gonna love him regardless. You cannot go and nitpick your the greatest because they didn't want to seek approval in the public eye. Okay. So that's how I feel about that. Like, honestly, I could care less. I didn't like him because of who he married. I didn't like him because who he was out in public with or not. I didn't care. I like his music, what he represents, his symbolic meaning, his spiritual aspect. I don't care about that. That's petty. It's mundane. I don't really care. Okay. So if you care that much about it and you're just going to be mad and upset and stuck in your lower self just because of that, then you don't approve. You don't improve. You stay right there where you belong and others will surpass you. And then what? When they roll up, to Taco Bell to and you got to take their order because you couldn't catch them on those ideas, or when they roll up in their nice new, whatever, and you still stuck being mad at everybody, and they didn't got married and had kids and moved on to the next thing because they're not on a low frequency, stuck and upset all the time. Maybe you will understand because a lot of people are just they're gonna look for anything. Well, he didn't do that. Well, he didn't do that, so I don't like him. Okay, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. You're supposed to care about you, and that's it. Because I know most people don't even know who you are. They don't seek your approval. That's their life to live. They do not live to please other people. And once you start living like that, you won't care either. I promise you. Thank you, Aster, Sprinkle Sprinkle. Thank you for all the knowledge you shared. Very valuable. We love you. Okay. Okay. When you care about yourself and you got your own business, you ain't worried about who walking down the street with who. I promise you. You like, oh, that's nice, whatever. Oh, okay. I'm still.
Do you have a charger?
Yeah. You need it?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't steal my charger. They keep breaking all their chargers. Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah. I mean, I can't argue with people that I can't debate. I can't argue. I can't even relate to people that don't have their own best interest in mind. I can't even do it. It's like I roll. Okay. If you don't have your own best interest in mind, then we have nothing to discuss. Okay. Right. All right. So would I leave my kids in Neverland? You think I'm gonna leave Neverland? Oh, I'm staying in Neverland. Shoot. Don't ever give me no money because I'll buy Neverland. Okay. It will be Sheeraland. Or Sheeraland after that. Okay. And we will all be there. Oh. Mm-hmm. It's Michael Jackson, Apollo, Heru, Apollo, Christos, Michael. Yes, the energy. So right. And I don't know, like everybody's gonna have a different opinion because everybody's on a different level of consciousness. So I can't expect everybody to be on the same level. But what you can do is not lower it for yourself. You know what I mean? Because every time you say something like that, you lower your own frequency. This is why you don't ever get anywhere or ever understand anything on a higher level because you're stuck. That's what stuck looks like. Okay. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I don't need to defend Black women, baby. I don't need to defend Black. That's y'all's job. Y'all are the mother of everything. So why do you need someone to defend you when you created it all? You know what I'm saying? When you realize who you are, you won't ask these silly questions. Do I ever ask someone to come defend me on any of my channels? Who defends me? I do. Okay. I defend myself. If I need physical defense, I have a husband. Okay. But I defend myself all day, every day on my other channel from women and men. I don't look for help. Okay. So I know who I am. I'm not stuck in emotions. I don't have a low self confidence, and I know who I am so that I can talk and say whatever I feel like saying to people that come against me. And I don't look for anybody to come defend me when I enjoy defending myself with words, um, and still laughing with those people right afterwards and allowing them to return because all I see them as is silly children. You see? So I'm not as pressed and bothered about anybody talking down to me or because I know who I am. You can't talk down to someone when they know who they are. It's like, you know, I don't believe them. Okay. I'm in denial about what's coming out of their mouth. I'm just like, no, that's just not true because I don't really care about your opinion because of who I am. It's just that's the mentality you got to have. If you don't have that, you can't defend yourself. You just can't. And no man is going to come do that for you. No man is going to come defend you all the time. I mean, that's ridiculous to even expect. Half the men don't even answer your texts when you text them, you know? So my thing is enjoy defending yourself when it comes to anybody I don't even take it personally because I know I don't. I just be laughing with them. Like, y'all crazy. Ha ha. Okay. Okay, troll. You nice. You nice. You can stay troll. I'll see you next time because you're paying me. Trolls don't bother me. Trolls secretly love me. That's why they have to talk about me. You don't talk about something that your attention is not on. You don't come to channels all day, every day looking for, somebody to troll on that you don't even semi enjoy listening to. So I'm not bothered. I don't care. I know who I am. I have very high confidence. I could care less if somebody come to defend me because I enjoy defending myself. I get a kick out of it and they do too. Okay. So, it doesn't bother me. I can't relate. I can't relate because I don't care enough to take stuff personally. Never have, never will. Okay. So I can't, my mind don't go that way. It just, somebody call me ugly, this, and that. I say, okay, all right. Well, I guess I remind you of your mama, you know, I just say something like that. And, it's very unexpected. And like, huh? Yeah, you can't expect someone to always be there to save you. You have to save yourself. Okay. Got to take care of yourself first before you can do anything else. Okay. The trolls are entertaining, and that's how you can see things too. It's like, okay, well, that's fine. You think that. Somebody say, oh, black women are ugly. It's like, da, 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 da. So, well, we ain't. Well, this forum doesn't think so. The world doesn't think so. This campaign ad doesn't think so. Gucci doesn't think so. The runway doesn't think so. High fashion doesn't think so. This magazine doesn't think so. I don't think so. Your mama didn't think so. Okay. So maybe it's just you. I don't take it anything personally because if I started doing that, then I don't remember that I'm a goddess. Why should I take insults from a human when I'm divine? Why should you take insults from someone who doesn't recognize your divinity? That's your choice. You got to think different. That's it. The only difference between people's lifestyle, how they think, how they react, and how they vibrate is how they think. That's it. All right. I really don't care. And that's enough for me to not be bothered. Should be enough for you too. Um, right. Learn about all all the things about yourself that's being divine, and you won't have to take anything personally ever again. Okay. Yeah. I found vegan Creole food in Dallas. You did? Vegan Creole food in Dallas, lady? Oh, okay. I hope they have a place like that here. Okay. Um, hmm Is Jay-Z an archon? No. Jay-Z helps the ascension. Him and Beyonce help the ascension. They raise awareness. They teach people through their music. They raise the frequency. Okay. Um, right. hmm Right. I'm in. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so Okra is an archon. No, Okra works for the people that don't want you to rise. Okra works for them people that eat them pineal glands. Okay. Okay. They calling in favors because she owes them now. So Okra does that. hmm So Kanye trying to tap into the Heru energy. Oh, Kanye. He's kind of like out in the wilderness right now, but he's doing his own thing, so he's still good. He's out in the wilderness right now, but he's trying to do his own thing. But he did it. He made money. He figured out a way to do his own thing, and I think he's trying to get back in, with Jay Z and them, but he's doing his own thing for now. Mhm. Okay, Okra has done more for the Black community than Snoop. Lies. She's trying to reverse your uprise right now, and so it's Kale. She wouldn't have to do nothing for y'all if she wouldn't have to do anything for y'all anymore or for the Black community anymore, because they would do it all for themselves, because they would get this upgrade that she's trying to reverse with Kale. Okay, so you got to understand the reversed Isis and the reverse twin goddess role to bring in the Christos consciousness is what they were doing. They were reversing that. They were trying to reverse the incoming of the Christos consciousness. That's their ritual. And if you just rewind the video, I'm not rewind, can't rewind. When you just rewatch the video, I show you lots of evidence, proof, pictures, all that kind of stuff. Y'all know how I do in the beginning. When y'all rewatch it, then make your decision before there. Okay. Um, right. And if you don't understand, it's just you don't have that same knowledge or level of consciousness yet, and that's okay. I don't expect you to understand, because why would you? You don't know anything about it. Um, but remember, you will continue to stay stuck and bring your own self down. Y'all know how y'all are always asking me, why do people not like me? Why am I always cursed? Because you don't know who you are, and you bring yourself down all the time just by not being aware or conscious. And it's not hotepery. It's alchemy. It's actually quantum physics. It's science. It's frequency. It's electromagnetic frequency. But they have to explain it to you in hotepery, because you don't have any understanding of quantum physics or quantum tunneling, or just how electromagnetic frequency works and how it's harnessed and A, B, C, and D. So they have to tell it to you through stories because you're not able to receive it because you haven't gotten your full upgrade, because you're working against yourself and you can't get your full upgrade. So you look to Okra to help the Black community because you are working against yourself and you cannot rise in order to become a goddess and bring in your own divinity. Okay. And that's just what it is. I'm sorry if you don't agree with it because you don't understand it. I have all day to sit home and read, to research. I don't work for anybody. I'm married. I can read books day in, day out. I can stay up till however late I choose to and read all this information, download this information, vibrate on a higher frequency, and get lots of knowledge, information to know exactly what's going on when it's happening. Okay. I don't go to work. I don't punch no clocks. I'm free. Okay. So you can continue that lifestyle. But when people try to help you get to the next level, to help you free yourself, and you stand up for someone who's trying to help you stay where you are, that's a low level of consciousness because you're not aware. You're not even aware that your hero is your oppressor. Okay. Your heroine is your oppressor. And that's it. All right. Bye. See y'all on the next one.